Welcome to the webinar, which purely talks on employability and your career aspects of it. It's called the Masterclass webinar. And this is purely designed completely for fresh graduates and graduate students. We are more than happy to receive a very warm welcome from all the colleges and universities that we reached out to. They were extremely happy with how and what we were trying to bring today on a very auspicious and a special day. As you all know, the World Youth Skills Day is celebrated by the UN on every July 15th. So it's an amazing day for us to reach out to all you youngsters and communicate as to why we are here today. And as per the Goldman Sachs latest research, you should be very proud of the fact that you guys are going to ensure that India will be the second largest economy in the world because of the kind of youngsters that we have, the youth that we have. So just focus on being very skilled, and we are very excited to have this session for you. On that note, the most important thing that I want to tell you is there are certain giveaways during this webinar. So please have a notepad and a pen with you so that you could just have few insights provided from our end. And let me now introduce the panelists. One gentleman that you see right now is Mr. Ram, the founder of Simple Skills, and he carries 20 years of experience in skilling youngsters. I repeat, in skilling youngsters. His organization has always hired fresh graduates, ensured that they are made really industry ready with upskilling them during their employment. And that's an amazing journey that Mr. Ram has taken. I'm very happy to have you here, Ram. Good morning to you. Yeah, Ram,
thanks for joining. Thanks for
good
morning. Yeah.
Wonderful. So the other person who needs to be brought to the table right now is Mr. Akshay. His vision is brilliant. He's come up with a beautiful concept called as Next Step and Beyond. And the objective of this particular YouTube channel is to have a very clear understanding of various professions that are available to you if you would like to explore as a professional in the future. Akshay, I welcome you to the webinar. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Prashant, and a warm welcome to all the audience.
So when we talk about Mr. Vinay, I think Mr. Vinay, if you could come on with your video, that would be really helpful. It's more about training. It's more about how passionate you are as a trainer. I think I've never come across anybody as passionate as Mr. Vinay. Welcome to the webinar, and thank you for making our Saturdays really skillful.
Very nice. Very good morning to all of you. Looking forward for the nice interaction for the next 2 to 3 hours.
Right. So, all right. I think we are good to go in terms of our entire journey now. And well, the most important aspect that I would like to cover for another minute is about introducing the various brands that are associated with this webinar. Of course, Simple Skills is after ensuring that all the youth in India are truly skilled. And here is where there is a kind of a meditative approach to make you a software developer in just 6 months. And when I say software developer, it doesn't mean that other people or people from different streams cannot fit into this. There is a world today that you're facing where everybody needs to know how to code. So please understand there is a tech involvement or a tech collaboration happening across all domains, and henceforth Simple Skills is here to give you domain expertise, at least with one software like a Sugar CRM that you tend to see as one of the best CRM tools. Now, talking on Enboard, here is a LinkedIn for fresh graduates. We want all of you to register on Enboard to ensure that your career is on the right path. CoSet gives you a complete picture about how to do self-learning and self-assessment about how much of skills that you carry. So please log on to CoSet when you get time. Of course, I spoke about Next Step. You could explore various professions from that. So on that note, now I request Mr. Ram to take it forward.
Okay. So we'll make this next 2 to 3 hours very productive for you. And we will ensure that you understand a lot of things from academic to corporate perspective. Corporates, how they're looking at youngsters and engineers, graduates, and what they expect from you. All of that, I think today, the next 2.5 hours will be the session that will make you understand this. And you can always put some questions. If you have questions in chat box, you can put your questions, and then our Prashant will take one of them and then keep throwing them to the right panelist here. So let's move forward. So this is the four sessions. We are trying to make this as 4 different sessions. In the first session, you try to understand how knowledge, skill, and competency is going to drive your employability for the rest of your life. Not today, not tomorrow, but for the rest of your life, how these 3 things impact your life and your employability. And then we will talk about some buyer syndrome, and we'll introduce, this is a new concept. I think last time, if somebody has attended our webinar, they may be familiar with it. But so we understand the typical buyer syndrome that we see in youngsters, and then how to overcome it to get your first job or to succeed in job. And then a lot of times youngsters don't understand what are the different type of companies are there and what are the type of jobs that are available, which job is suitable for me, or based on what I do during the college time, and which job I am basically being moved towards. Okay, without even you knowing it, you may be moving towards one type of a job, and how to address it and come out of it, and then try to look forward for the job that you're looking for. And then we will go at the last sessions about what are the internships and how do you look at an internship, and how do you look at a part-time job, and what is a job and what is a career. So people may hear these words day in, day out, but they may not be aware of it. And that's the reason we are dismantling and deep diving into all these 4 concepts at the end of it, so that you can create a path and move forward. Another thing that we want to introduce to you is, so we are saying skillful Saturdays. If you want to be employable for the rest of your life and make your Saturday, when you are in the college, make your Saturday, dedicate your Saturday for skills. Okay, you do anything for the next 6 days, but at least one day you dedicate for skill development, and definitely you are employable. You don't feel the pain of losing a job, etc. So we try to understand what is a knowledge and skill and competency. And these things are very, very relevant, because how an academic world where you are getting educated or where you are educated is entirely different from the corporate world that is going to be, that is how it looks at things. Okay, so go forward, next slide, Prashant. So we'll try to delve deep into this, what is an academic world and what is the corporate world. So we all know that in the college, you are always worried. When you join also, you want to join in a good college. And when you join, you want to join a good course. But the moment you join in an academic institution, the first priority that they give is purely for knowledge. Okay, they want you to acquire as much knowledge as possible on different subjects, and measure you continuously, consistently. They keep measuring you on your knowledge. Okay, so they put a mock test, they put you unit test, they put you quarterly tests, they say final test, semester test. So everything that you see in the academic world is about measuring how much knowledge you acquired, and then measure it and say, give you marks and say, okay, you are performing very well, and then you are good. So all your pats that you get are always on the knowledge. But what is knowledge? Okay, so first let us understand knowledge is some information that you acquired, and what is a skill, and why corporate world doesn't look at knowledge the way academic world looks at it. So if corporate world is looking at knowledgeable resources, they will come to a college and say, okay, who are your toppers? Top 10 people I hire. Next company comes, okay, 11th to 15th, okay, they will take. So this could have been the right approach if corporate world is looking at knowledge, okay? So, but however, corporate world is all about what you can do and how good you are at it, okay? Please understand, knowledge is what you know, but corporate world is not going to look at what you know, but it is going to look at it, what you can do and how good you are at. Okay. So the thing what you can do is basically a skill. Okay. So you can look at it, if you want to define what is a skill, I can define a skill as simple as playing volleyball is a skill. Okay, running is a skill. Okay, and dancing is a skill. In dancing, wide variety of dances is a skill, and you can look at it. Programming is a skill, and reading is a skill. Whenever you have a skill, there is an effort that you put. How do you differentiate whether whatever I'm doing is a skill or not? If you are consuming something, it is not a skill. Okay. When you consume something, it is not a skill. So look at, I'm good at cooking. Cooking is a skill, but it is not that I'm good at eating. Okay, so eating is never a skill because you are consuming something, somebody has done it. Okay, so that's the reason if you're watching videos, okay, if you're consuming something. So, but if you're able to create video, creating video is a skill because it doesn't come naturally. So companies always look for skills. There is no second thoughts. Anytime you go, anywhere you go, companies are looking at what he can do it so that we can basically convert that into a service or product that I can sell. So corporate world is all about your skill. That means what you are good at it, how good you are at it.
Which statement is true? There are plenty of jobs that are not being recruited because of lack of skilled resources. There is a recession and no jobs for freshers. These are the two options for the first one. Let's see how many of you pick the one which you feel is appropriate. And the other one is a fresher can get his or her job based on the following things. If he or she has connections in the industry, or he or she has good academic track record or scores. Whatever that you just heard from Mr. Ram, based on that, if you have actually heard it right, you'll get the answers right too.
See, almost all the experts whom I've spoken to, they have stressed on skill building through the right investment of time to build a desired career of your choice. As I stated earlier, so mastering a skill is actually mastering a skill. Time when you're mastering a skill, time is a magic ingredient. In fact, Abhishek Iyengar, who's a theater wizard, also talks about how important is it to learn multiple relevant skills to sustain and grow in that theater industry. I'll tell you an interesting fact. So he says, being a theater director, it's not just about saying just action, cut and stuff. Okay. It's not just limited to that. It's much beyond that. One should be skilled enough to know the light design in case the light designer backs out, or to know the costume design in case the costume designer doesn't turn up, or it should be it should be ready to act also in cases where actor doesn't show up, and so on. So for a theater person, all these vital aspects come first, and if there is anything left, it's acting. So that's why that's the reason acting is considered the only unskilled labor. That's an interesting fact to know. In fact, when I interviewed Mr. Abhishek Iyengar, this came out as a surprise for me. So everyone would think that acting is the most vital and most important skill in the theater industry, but that's not the case. In fact, it's the opposite of it. It's contrary to that. Acting is the only unskilled labor, and as per the US visa rules. And also, for an actor, when you are applying for a visa, it comes under unskilled category. It's not a skilled category. Okay, so that's an interesting fact. So basically, why I'm stating this is, to let you know the importance of, honing multiple skills within your industry and staying relevant. So, it can apply to any industry for that matter, even if you see for IT companies, right? So if you try to hone multiple skills of in various areas of work, it could be product development, it could be testing, it could be sales and marketing, deployment, anything. So honing your skills in multiple areas of work will definitely keep you abreast. So that's that's the crux of it.
Thank you, Akshay. So Ram, I think he was trying to highlight the fact that how the corporate world looks at people who can give a holistic approach to their skill. Right.
Okay.
Moving forward, Ram, I think I will just go to the next slide.
Yeah. So we talked about skill, and now can you go to the next one? So there is another word, another word. We always hear that competence. Okay. So skill and competence are entirely different. A lot of people don't understand, but companies are going to look for competencies and not skills. Okay. At some point in their life, every company wants to look for competent people and not skillful people. So this is something which you need to understand. So when you are looking for a first job, people may be looking for a skilled resource. So you are expected to have some skill. If you don't have a skill, you need to acquire the skill first. But after you acquire the skill, it is always the competency that can keep you in the job there. Okay. For months together, years together, you can be in a job without a recession or without anything affecting you if you are a competent person. So a lot of people don't understand, okay, what is this skill and what is this competence and how knowledge, skill, and competence work and play together. So let's take the example of an hospital. Okay. So in hospital, when you go to a hospital, so you always see a doctor and you always see supporting staff, which is nurse and then assistants who are there. So if you look at it, so you may be going, let's say for the last 10 years, you've been going to the same hospital and you happen to see the same nurse to attend to you all the time when you go. And even though the nurse is experienced in the skill she is supposed to be, and if you get a stomach pain or you get some disease, you don't go and ask the nurse because she's experienced and skilled. Okay. You always go to the doctor and ask, okay, so I'm getting pain here and here, and what is the, how do I solve my problem? So the difference between a nurse and a doctor is a competent person. Nurse is a skilled person. A competent person is continuously having a lot of knowledge about your body. In this case, doctor, he knows about your body. He knows the different types of diseases that are coming in, and he is also aware of the latest medicines that are coming in, and he continuously keeps studying every patient from different aspects and also learns from other doctors who have cleared some of the patients. So how you apply your knowledge, your skill in a very methodical and systematic way is only the professional and competent person knows. So most of the time, people, even in experienced people, think that, okay, I have been working in this company for so long, but now I'm feeling that, okay, I'm not the right person here, and company is hiring more people, but they're not giving me more hike, etc. Is because all along you worked as a skilled person, okay, doing whatever is the management wants you to do. Your manager gives you a task and you deliver the task. He gives you again the same task because you're good at it. He keeps giving you the task. But you are not expanding beyond those tasks, okay, beyond those skills that you already have. So it is the responsibility of the person to basically look at what is my competency? How do I add extra skill for it? So for example, I'll give you a classic example of myself. When I came to Bangalore, I got a good job, okay, but I realized that I'm not good at communicating. And I know that for the rest of my life, this is going to be my bottleneck. I addressed it by practicing communication, talking to them. Okay, how do I talk in a very neat and clean English language? Was my first problem that I solved here. By going to an institute, I paid money. Okay, so during that time, I was getting about 10,000 rupees per month. And then I paid 3,500 purely for joining a communication skills program on my own. It's not that company's responsibility for me to acquire that communication skill. Company understands that if for my programming skills, communication skills are there, they can use it better, but they are not the driving force. It is you who should be the driving force. That's the reason when you get your first job, you always have to look at it. How do I increase the number of skills that I have and then convert that into competence? So in corporate world, for freshers, companies recruit skilled people. They'll check for skill for not knowledge. Okay. But once you get it in the experienced people, they look for competence. So how do I, you can always question, okay, so why do I acquire knowledge? If companies are looking only for skill, what is the relevance of my degree, my certificates and my marks, etc.? You can always question. But again, there is an entry point. If you don't have a good degree, good marks, you don't even get a chance to attend these interviews. You don't even get a chance to, because almost like 15 lakh engineers are coming up every year. How does a company which wants to take 10 people segregate and say, okay, I don't want to all the 15 lakh people to apply for my job? How do I reject people? So they take the rejection criteria for your, from which college you are in and which course you have done, and then what is the marks that you have got and how disciplined and responsible you are. That is what they look for. So try to understand what is skill, and skill can never be coming by watching videos and by listening to some expert. Okay, you can acquire knowledge, but you always have to substantiate that with continuous practice. So let's say I want to hire a swimming guy. If he knows a lot of knowledge about swimming, can I take him and put him onto the boat and say, now you swim from the middle of the river to the other side? If I put, people will collapse. Okay, there is no way they can do. So let's visualize, I have a person, two people, one person who has got a lot of knowledge about cars, lot of knowledge about driving, lot of knowledge about road rules, but has never driven a car. And there is another guy who doesn't have a lot of knowledge about all the types of cars, etc., but he has driven a car. If I have a Maruti 800, or if I have, let's say Mercedes-Benz, any car, whom do I choose? I choose the person who has driving skill, not the credentials that he claims to be. Because whether it is an 800 or it is a Mercedes-Benz, just because I'm driving an 800, I won't give that, okay, let me give an opportunity to this guy who never drove a car. I will not give, because definitely I know that he will either hit the car or my life is at stake. Same way, skill cannot be acquired by watching videos or by listening to courses. I think a lot of people are addicted to watching the lot of courses which are there in Udemy and Khan Academy and all of that, but they are definitely useful, provided for every 2 hours of session, you practice 8 hours or 6 hours minimum, or at least double 4 hours you practice for every 2 hours. If you have that kind of a mechanism, those courses are fantastic. But if you don't practice it, there is nothing, you cannot acquire a skill. And always companies are going to look for, so if I want to recruit a programmer, he comes with, let's say, I got this certificate, that certificate, etc. I say, can you write a program? Basically from 1 to 5, I give 5 as input and it should print 1 to 5. And if you're able to put your pen on the paper and write that, then you have a skill. If you have written at least 5,000 lines of code, 10,000 lines of code, easily you should be able to write whatever program that I ask. That's how people check whether you are really good at something or you are knowledgeable. So to give you statistics, okay, so let's understand we are all good at walking. 20 years in our life, okay, 20 plus, 30 plus, all of us know walking. But do you know, as an individual at the age of 1 year, you relentlessly practiced for 6 months walking, okay, troubling your parents, nearby ones, etc. So an average, a toddler at 1 year of age takes 2,400 steps per hour, and per day he takes at least around 12,000 steps per day. The moment he is tired, he will sleep. And the moment he is hungry, he eats. But immediately he'll start practicing walking. Okay, that's the reason walking kid is the kid that who is walking is a very troublesome for the parents. They're always scared. Okay, where does he fall, etc. And you need to understand that this practice, he does it for 6 months relentlessly by taking 12 million steps. The current competent walking that you are enjoying is because at the age of 1 year, for 6 months, you have practiced the skill called walking relentlessly, as if there is nothing for me except, so you go up and you step down. You see left-hand side, you come right-hand side. So the research has showed that if you leave, you don't need a motivation, you don't need anybody educating you how to walk, etc. But just if you leave a kid without any temptations also, he will make 2 rounds of football courts easily in a day, without any motivation, without prompting by the parents, etc. So that is the importance. Skill is acquired only by practicing. From now on, if you want a job, identify a skill, start practicing every day, 1 hour, every Saturday. You decide, say, this is the skill that I want. I want to talk English language very well. Then take 3 months and say every day 1 hour, practice English. Okay. Every Saturday you say this is what. And you want to learn programming. You want to learn programming in Python. Look at practicing every day 1 hour. You do write program 40 lines, make the 40 lines to 400 lines, 400 lines to 4,000 lines. And that is how you learn a skill, and then you are eligible for applying for a job.
As Ram is rightly indicating, skill, knowledge, okay, as we know, these are all really connected competence. So when we really go with, I think you would have heard of the word knowledge is power. So that will really empower you to really take you to a different direction. So on the context, when we really look at it, going headless journey without any ambitious target, which does not have any value, or we do not see a tangible results. As we all know, now there is a lot of paradigm shift is going to happen from the college to the corporate world. There are certain things that mandatorily we have to follow it to see a success. So, hey, we are living in the smart world, everyone has a smartphone, the smart way of living, smart internet, everything. We are so smart. But are we really smart in ourselves? Yeah. Are we really smart in achieving certain goal? As we know, friends, it is very important to reach the goal. For that, you need to be really sharp or razor focused. Be anything what you take. As we know that, considering the Mahabharata's Arjuna, when somebody, say that what exactly that you're seeing, everyone are saying, I'm seeing, the fish, etc., etc. He just say that I'm only seeing the retina of the fish. That is the focus. So he is able to really crack it, and, you see his success. So friends, always I say with all my friends, plan your work and work your plan. Simple, very simple way of success. Plan your work and work your plan. So in that direction, so there is a 4-letter word which starts from G, ends with L. This is nothing but a goal. In everyone's life, professional or personal or whatever it is, you need to be goal-oriented. So once you have a goal, you will really reach the target with preciseness. So one such wonderful technique, friends, I really request you to really take this up, practice it. As Prashant rightly indicated, with the pen and paper, note down it, practice it homogeneously every day, every moment. That is called SMART. SMART. What is SMART? What is S stand for? Specific. Be very clear. Say, hey, I want to become a cricketer. Just be very clear. You want to become a cricketer, you will become a cricketer. You need to have a specific goal or a target post. No, I want to become an Elon Musk. Definitely, you can, but you need to be specific. But, what exactly happens in our current generation, all of us is, hey, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be that. So you will have multiple tentacles. But what happens is our focus also gets diversified. So friends, always remember, convergence will give more clarity. Okay, so take one, go with that focus. So exactly, it says specific. Be very clear and specific on your goals that you have to achieve. Take your pen and paper, say, I want this, shortlist it, assume that you get 5, then again you deep dive it, and then again you go through, make it 3, again you deep dive it, check your heartbeat. What I want to, hey, I want to become a cricketer. Assume that you toggle between cricketer, and then IT person, or maybe, one more profession, for example, an artist. So check out of these 3 shortlisted one. This then go with a priority, P0, P1, P2. Take that P0 that is higher priority, that will set your direction. That will be a specific goal that you're going to achieve. Assume that you checked as, hey, I want to become a software engineer. So that particular would be the first priority. Thereby you set your goal. Hey, now I'm very clear. I'm very, very, very 100% bullseye. I'm looking at is I want to become a software developer, or I want to become a software tester. That will really help you to really, set your vision right. Then assume now you have done this wonderful exercise, friends. I tell you, it is not so easy. You have to really do some iteration, do it on your own, because, it may take 1 day, 2 days, 1 month, 2 months also. But be very specific. Once you select it, be strong in that. So this is the instrumental one that is specific, that is smart, stands about it. And then the second one is measurable. Hey, I have set a goal. Hey, I want to become a software developer. That goal is set, very specific. Now I want to measure it. Now I started with this. Now let's say assume that I traverse in the direction for the next 3 months after the goal has been set. Now I want to measure it. Hey, am I really running towards it to the far, very fast, or very slow, or I have not even started running? So it's very imperative that you have to measure your progress, friends. Okay, you have to see that, hey, am I going towards the goal, away from the goal, or going aggressively, or going with the real clarity? That is most important, friends. Okay, as Ram is indicating rightly, say, I want to really write 10,000 line of code. Assume that this is my target as a software developer. Hey, in the first day, definitely I cannot do it, right? It might take 2 days, 3 days, 10 days, 1 month. Set a target. Hey, in that 1 month, I would like to reach at least 10,000 line of code. So you measure it. 1 week, how much I progressed. Oh, I'm only in 100 line of code. Oh, no, I have to accelerate it. No. I have to do some exercise. I have to do some extra efforts. That measurable will gives you a check, a spot check. Based on measurable things, friends, you will act on it. Okay, hey, I want to accelerate, or going in the same pace, or to decelerate. So friends, measurable will leads you to actionable, so that you know what exactly that you will be up to. Then friends, be realistic. Okay, so don't be hallucinating. That's what I always say to my friends. So if you try to be more hallucinating, hey, I will reach goal. I don't do, but I reach the goal. Sorry, friends. Okay, there are no shortcuts for success. You have to go with the process. So when you are actionable, then be realistic. R stands for realistic. Don't get unnecessary, stress, pressure, tension, etc. Just go with your proper planned approach. As I told in the beginning, friends, plan your work your plan. Be very realistic. Hey, today I can work 4 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours. That is absolutely yes. But you cannot be so, hallucinating. Hey, I'll work for 20 hours. Is it possible? I'll work for 22 hours. Don't be unrealistic. When you're really achieving the goal, go with that clarity. And most important thing, friends, the T. The T stands for time bound. Okay. You need to be, as you know, the time is very, very, very precious thing on this earth. Okay. So please understand, friends, I think you would have heard of Stephen Hawking, one of the famous scientists whom we always talk, parallel with Einstein. In his book, Brief History of Time, please go through it, if you have some time. Here, somebody asked him, what is time? People time. What exactly it is? Friends, he has given a wonderful answer. He says, time is the property of universe provided by God. Let me repeat, time is the property of universe provided by God. See, that is a wonderful asset that we have given. Let's use it to our better growth, achieving our own ambitions that we set for in the smart approach, in the time-bound manner. I cannot set a time bound, like unrealistically, saying that, hey, I take this for the next 100 years. Sorry, that is not possible. It doesn't make any sense. My request, friends, you need to be on your clarity with respect to this time bound so that you can really incrementally, you progress yourself, and then you will reach your goal with this methodology of SMART. Please remember this forever. That's what I always say in all my sessions, friends. Specific, be very specific, measurable. Try always measuring your own pulse, your own heartbeats, actionable, take the action according to it, and then be very realistic. And then please work with a time-bound manner with focus. So your success will follow you.
Brilliant. Lovely, Vinay. So there are two major takeaways, all of you. One is, of course, Mr. Ram was mentioning about skill can only be acquired by practicing. And the second thing which you can take away very strongly for your entire lifetime is the SMART technique. Thank you, Vinay.
If you have a skill, you can exchange this for money. That important it is. But simple skills, we say little more. Okay, so you can go to the competency is the higher denomination. So with skill, you can get a job and you can survive. And with that, if you keep on acquiring more knowledge and skill and experience, then you become competent, and a competent person, competence is the higher denomination. You can see this, especially when you have look at a very small, in your own town, what is a good restaurant? Whether it is street side food or a small restaurant or a big restaurant, if the food is very good, tasty, and people will flock at it. Okay, but you have a very neat and clean place, but food is not good. People, after some time, you will see deserted place in that. Same way, to a good, competent doctor, you always see patients coming in. Whether he is in a very small place, big place, or anywhere, for a competent person, and his fees or his number of patients he's covered will keep on increasing and his money will go up. So competence will basically take you to the next level, whereas skill gives you the entry into a corporate world. And you can always look at it. If you want to take one single thing in this webinar, the first thing that I say is skill is the new currency. If you want to get your first job, try somehow acquire a skill that you can showcase to somebody when you go for an interview. And if you want to succeed in life and you don't want to have cyclones and floods coming out and taking you off your job, okay, then you need to use the first job to consistently and continuously learn and acquire competency. Competent people will never be asked to leave a company because they bring in a lot of value. That value cannot be replaced with a fresh engineer or a new person who is joining. That's the reason you need to understand skill is the new currency and competency is the higher denomination. And you will be recognized if you are very competent, you will be recognized across the company. Over a period of time, You keep showing your competence, and companies and your boss and everybody will start recognizing. Okay. If you're a fresher, graduate, you're looking for a job, please understand skill is important, but attitude is more important than the skill. Okay. I'll give you what is the difference between a skill and attitude. Let's visualize there is a family in Bangalore and both of them are working. Okay. And they need to go to office by 9 o'clock. And because they have to go to office at 9 o'clock, let's say they hire a cook. Okay. A cook comes and then they hire and they want to pay 2,000 or 3,000 rupees per month. And the cook comes, and because they have to reach the office by 9 o'clock, they may have to start around 8:15. Okay. So they hire this cook and say, you come at 7 o'clock or 7:15 and cook for my food in a half an hour and go out, so that they can eat the food and leave for office. Now you have two cooks. Okay. So one cook is extraordinarily good in cooking, and he or she knows a lot of items, and if she cooks, it is very delicious and tasty. There is another cook, okay, who is not so good like the first cook, but he or she can cook well. Let's understand how the attitude plays. If the first cook, who is extraordinarily good in cooking, if she says, today I'm not feeling like cooking, okay, I don't want to cook today, and she comes late sometimes. She doesn't even inform them, saying that I'm not coming tomorrow, saying that I'm not feeling like coming today, and I'm not coming. Okay. So this is what an attitude plays there. Okay. A cook, extraordinary cook, he has a skill, everything is there, but her attitude matters a lot, because I am hiring you to replace my time with your time, and I expect you to come so that I can happily go to my office and then deliver my work, and then I will be able to get more money in my office. If I'm spending here, the time that I'm spending cooking, probably I use it for something else, learning on my own, etc. But you come here, you are extremely skillful, but your attitude is basically say, hey, today I don't feel like cooking, so I don't want to cook today. And also you cannot have likes and dislikes in work. Okay. So you say, I ask you to cook today, let's say a chicken curry. You say, no, today I don't feel like cooking chicken, I will cook dal. Okay. So this is where the attitude plays a lot, and companies and HR managers will always be looking at your attitude. Are you good? Do you say that I have acquired this skill? That's the reason my scores are less. That's not going to work, because your scores, when you are in the college, your scores, your accountability and responsibility is to deliver the scores, study the course and deliver the scores. Because you cannot say that I acquired this skill, that's the reason you hire me, I don't bother. But when you come to the company also, you're giving a mindset or attitude saying that what I deliver, but not what you want. What is required, I don't want. Okay, so this is the thing that plays a lot of role here. So you may cross all these tests like aptitude test, technical test, interview, etc. But you show your attitude, saying that, okay, yeah, I'm here. You pay me more money, I will join. Or, okay, I'm very, you talk very informally. Okay, so informal, don't even showcase respect to the company. Okay, all of that plays a lot, and you will be rejected even though you are extraordinarily good.
So as Ram rightly mentioned, so friends, is very important. Attitude. So definitely, so skill is here, attitude is even score a little higher. Because with the right attitude, please remember this forever, friends, with the right attitude, you can reach any altitude. Okay, you can reach any altitude. I'll tell you, sky is a limit. Sky is a limit. If you, this is very, 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 you can really quote it in invited commas, friends, for your life. If you have a right attitude, you can reach any altitude. Only the sky is the limit. Friends, always, as Ram indicated, organization in IT world, what they really picks you out is, hey, this guy is knowledgeable, having competence, having skill is amazing. If you have an attitude which is really disturbing, friends, you'll be on the negative nosedive. you will be nosediving in your career. So please be passionate at what you do. So passion along with the right attitude will take you to a different altitude. You can really achieve whatever that you can do in your life. Over to you, Prashant.
I would like to just bring up one line which I read recently on LinkedIn about the attitude. When it comes to hiring, in all the corporates, I saw this line on LinkedIn saying, the recruiter saying, I would rather hire a person with a good attitude than with a good resume. He says, attitude, skills can be taught, but attitude cannot be. Attitude, it's something which has to be an integral part of you. Okay, you have to hone that skill. You have to make sure that your attitude is set in a right direction. Okay, because skills can be taught to anyone. You can go, you can learn Python, you can learn Java, you can learn any other programming language or any other, you can learn voicing, you can learn theater, you can learn all those skills. But your attitude towards learning is very important.
Okay, so try to understand. So when you get a gift, you say, oh, I like this gift. Okay, this person had gave me this gift. It's very good. Okay, and you may say that, okay, this is not good. I don't like this. So the like and dislike comes when it is a gift. Okay, but please understand, job is an opportunity to experiment what you are good at it, or if you are not good at it and becoming good at it. Okay, it is never a gift. We say, okay, this job is good. If they're giving me t-shirts, welcome gifts. If they're giving me, it's a good job. Okay, if they're paying me more salary, it is a good job. No, all of these things are secondary. It has to be a place, a platform where whatever you're good at it, you are able to apply it. And if you are not good at it, you are able to acquire that and apply it. And it is an opportunity to hone your skills and becoming more and more competent. If you don't have a job, okay, if you don't have a job and you have a job, please understand, you're sitting at home, you have a lot of social obligations, everybody keeps pinging you, what are you doing, why you're not getting job, that person got that job, this person is getting this much money, etc. So a lot of times because of this peer pressure, people don't understand the value of a job. Okay, so job is an opportunity. It is not a gift to toss around and say, this is good, that is not good, compare with others. His father gave a necklace, my father did not give me a necklace. So because of that, my father is not good. He's not going to help us in the job. Okay, if a big company is giving so-and-so, small company is not giving so-and-so. So don't compare it, because when you are going to a restaurant where you are paying 50 rupees or 100 rupees, a small restaurant where you go 50 rupees, your expectation of that guy giving you the right food, quality food is same as when you pay 100 rupees or even 500 rupees. Okay, quality wise, you will not ask, okay, just because I'm paying 50 rupees, the taste is bad. Okay, you say it's okay to be taste bad. You will not go, because you are paying 50 rupees, you expect that to be tasty. If it is not tasty, you will tell everyone saying that this food is not tasty. Okay, same way, it is the company which is experiencing your skills, and with the skills, it is trying to deliver a service or a product. That's the reason job is an opportunity for you to apply your skills, learn new skills, and improve your skills. Okay, it is just an opportunity. If you are sitting at home, you will not be able to apply your skills, you will not be able to learn new skills, you will not be able to improve your skills. All these three things are not possible if you sit at home, because any job you are in, you need to understand it's an opportunity for you to grow. It is not a gift to basically judge day by day and compare it with others, etc. So let me look at, in life, we always play roles. Okay, we always play roles. When I play, we play roles. You are son of your parents, and you are a daughter of your parents. When you are with your father alone, okay, when you are with your father alone, you behave one way. When you are with your mother alone, you behave in one way. When they both are together, your behavior changes. And when you are at home, your behavior with them is different. But when you come out and You're outside your house, your behavior with them will be different. When all three of you go to your relative's place, your behavior changes. So every day, every minute, we keep continuously changing our roles, and it is a way of life for everyone. Same thing applies when you go to a college, you are a student, okay, and your behavior changes. But when you come out of the class and you are with your friends in a canteen, your behavior changes. So continuously, consistently, the behavior changes based on the role that you are playing. And you played umpteen number of roles. So the moment you are an adult and you have a small kid, you like, your behavior changes when you are handling with the kid. But the same thing may not be true when you're handling with an elder kid. Okay. And this behavioral change is basically embedded into our DNA. And because of this behavioral change, there are some expectations are also built up there. So when you are with your father expects you to be like something. When you are with your father and outside, your father expects you to be behaving differently. Okay. Not the same way you behave. Okay, so let me go to, yeah. So look at this. So we always have a lot of roles to play. And if you understand, so these roles are your son, daughter, brother, etc. But one important specific role that I want to introduce you to is a buyer and a seller. Okay, let's say you are going to a restaurant and buying your food. You are a buyer. Okay, and you go to a school and you're joining, and you and your father will go as a buyer. And when you go to a movie theater, you are a buyer. So a lot of times from very early stages, maybe when at the age of 10, your father gives you money and asks you to buy. So over a period of time, we have this expectation that we are buyers. So the other person has to deliver certain expectations we set without you and me or somebody defining them. Okay. This is what we call it as a expectations. Okay. So a lot of expectations, and these expectations are becoming unwritten rules for us. Okay. So you expect the quality of the product or service to be high quality. Okay. And you want the timeliness to be very good. Okay. So if you go to a restaurant and order food, so it has to come on time. If it is supposed to come 15 minutes and it is delayed half an hour, you get some kind of uncomfortableness. And the half an hour has become 45 minutes. You really become more uncomfortable. So this way, you always have expectation on the time, and also you have cleanliness. You want to see that, okay, my food is served very clean and neat. Okay. And also you want everything to be served in complete. So all these expectations, wherever you go, whenever you are buying, whenever you are paying money, okay, and trying to buy a product or service, you always have these expectations. So I asked one of the one lady, okay, when was the last time you got upset when you're outside? She was saying that I was extremely upset when I was trying to buy my footwear, and the guy was delaying showing the ones that I'm looking for. Okay, for whatever reason. Why are you upset? Because you went there as a buyer. So this syndrome of a buyer is always in us all along, without you and me noticing it. It has embedded into our DNA, and wherever we go, we always expect. And same thing is there even for you. If you go to a college, if you are in a college, you want to say this teacher is good, this teacher is not good. Okay, food is good. Okay, and the discipline is good, discipline is not good. Extracurricular activities are good, they are not good. All these things are coming because you went and paid fee for joining in that institute. Okay, if you have not paid, at least government has paid. If you are studying in a government college, government might have paid. Are you a buyer or are you a seller when you are applying for a job? You are a seller when you are looking for a job. Okay, I want, most of you may think that, okay, so this is a different thing, but please understand, you are a seller when you are applying for a job as a fresher or an experienced person. You are trying to sell your skills as well as your competence to a company so that the company can use and the company's managers can use your skills and competencies to deliver something which is very, very important, which is a product or service the company is producing.
Right.
Okay. So the moment you start looking at this concept, you need to understand what I am selling. So a lot of times people will come and say, what is, when we start interviewing, people will come to say, how much is the salary? First of all, as a fresher, you need to check whether you have skills and competencies, how much of skill is validated. If you just validate yourself, it is not going to work, but how much of skill is this validated? And then do I have that kind of a competency to say how much you are going to pay? Okay. It's like when you go to a restaurant guy asks, I want a dosa, how much you can pay? Can you expect that kind of a question? Think about it. So you go to a restaurant, you want to buy your breakfast, a dosa you want to order, he will ask how much you can pay. So seller doesn't have that kind of a luxury. Okay, seller doesn't have that kind of a luxury. So when a company is advertising for you, okay, they clearly say this is my price range. Okay, so if you go to a restaurant and he puts a menu there, okay, 100 rupees for dosa, and as you start eating the food and you feel extraordinarily tasty, the moment you say it is tasty and it is good, the guy comes and says, now it is 150 rupees. Okay. Please understand, when you go to an interview, the company says that this is the price at which I'm planning to buy your skills. And the moment you find that, okay, this company is trying to, I have answered a lot of questions, and then you start negotiating as a fresher, it is going to be a very negative thing for you. Okay, company won't tell you that this is the reason I'm rejecting you. Say, okay, please go ahead. And so a lot of YouTube videos keep saying that you have to negotiate, all that. As a fresher, please understand, you need an opportunity, you need a break, you need to acquire skills and competencies, and you don't require too much of negotiation. But the moment you negotiate, so they understand, okay, this level itself is negotiating. Tomorrow, after I recruit, his attitude is going to be continuously negotiating. Okay, that's the reason. First, prepare yourself that you are the seller. You are the seller. That's the reason. It is the buyer who evaluates you, how good you are, how neat you are, what skills you have, how you are presenting yourself. All of these things, it is the buyer who evaluates and not vice versa. Google is such a large company, right? Tons of money. Why is it giving you free of cost a Gmail? Because it wants you to experience so that when you go for business, you buy it. Okay, same way, you also have to think entirely different. You are a seller. You want the company to experience how you are, how good you are, how good at it, these things that you're climbing. And so that you take that platform, showcase your skills and improve your skills and keep acquiring more and more money as well as skills. Okay, that's the reason. Please, from now onwards, try to think that you are a seller. Okay, and it is the buyer who is going to evaluate you thoroughly. Okay, sometimes they evaluate you whether you have patience levels or not. A lot of times I've seen if you wait for 1 hour, hey, why should I wait? No, you have to wait because the job may require you to wait. Patience is one of the important things. If you are so busy, you understand an experienced person who is coming to interview, he might be even busier, right? He's at work. You are not even fetched your first job, but there is another guy who came here, but maybe he is so busy, he has taken away all his busy schedule to see that, okay, if any fitment is there, and if you have to wait, you have to wait. That is where attitude you need to inculcate, attitude of a seller. Seller has to have a lot of patience, and seller has to have ability to come down. Okay, you need to have intellectual humility. Okay, so somebody says your skill is not good, so you should understand somebody. Why is he telling me my skill is not good?
Yeah,
because
it's nothing to do. It's not personal at all.
Personal at all. You don't know what you don't know, but the other person might have found out that, okay, so this is the drawbacks that you have. So that's the reason. If you want to get your first job, please get rid of your buyer syndrome. Okay, that's the first thing that you need to come out of it, because from early childhood, you have been a buyer, so you always have expectations on others. But here is where you have to diagonally opposite of this. You are now the seller. So it is the buyer who evaluates you, who looks at in a very, very critical way. Okay, so that's a one thing that you need to understand. This session is all about buyer versus seller syndrome, and you sell your skills and attitude to the companies, and you are selling, and they are evaluating you, whether you are intentionally selling or unintentionally showing your attitude. They are evaluating you, and you have to be extremely cautious about all of these things. Okay. A lot of times when you're in the college or outside the college, you may not be able to know what are, there are different types of companies, there are different types of jobs. Okay. In colleges itself, you have many colleges, IITs, NITs, okay, regional institutes, and private engineering colleges, top private engineering colleges, tier 2 colleges, tier 3 colleges, tier 4 colleges. So you have many universities. So you have different types of things there, but do you really know what type of companies are there? Okay, what type of jobs they offer, and how do you choose which company or which job is good, instead of just benchmarking that companies, whoever is paying good money is a good company. Okay, so this thing is particularly to dismantle a lot of ideas on what type of companies exist, and how what type of jobs they offer, and how do you choose and identify which job is what, and then which job fits you. Okay, so let's go little deep into it. Okay, so we have divided. Okay, so I have divided this thing based on the type of work that they do, based on the size. I have divided these companies like product companies, okay, so solution companies, services companies, and service-enabled services companies. Let's, at a broad level, I'm categorizing companies into product companies, solution companies, services companies, enabled services companies. By seeing the name of the company, you will not be able to figure it out what type of a company it is. But let's understand what are these companies, what they do, what type of how do you understand these companies. And then based on the size also, you can understand what is an MNC, what is a large Indian company, medium company, small company, startup, which is bootstrapped, startup, which is funded, and how do you differentiate the different types of jobs that these companies offer. So let's look at what a product company, typically product companies like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Salesforce, Sugar CRM. These are all the companies that we call them as product companies. GlaxoSmithKline, okay, and many, and in fact, Toyota cars, all of these guys produce products. Okay, these companies produce products, and the demand for resources on them is very, very high. And so solution companies, what are these solution companies? Solution companies are, they take product companies, create products to solve some problem. Okay. Solution companies approach people or companies that have got that problem and try to take the product company and keep selling to them. Okay. They give solution. Okay. To give you a classic example, all the pharmaceutical companies, they continuously do a lot of research and identify what is the disease, and do a lot of research on the body, and a lot of chemicals they use it. They do research and find out a medicine for curing some disease. Okay, so pharmaceutical companies mainly are product companies. But what does a doctor do? Doctor is a person who gives solution to the patient's problems by using these products. Okay, he knows that this patient has got so-and-so problem. For this patient, from Dr. Reddy's, this tablet has to be given, and from Glaxo, this tablet, and in these portions, okay, so applied for 6 days, and then you get cured of your disease. So solution companies are some guys who understand a lot of problems of customers. Their customers can be individuals or companies. Okay, if a company is doing directly to consumer, we call them as a business to business and business to consumer. And if they identify, they use multiple products, or they use one single product. So for example, our company is a sugar CRM partner. Sugar CRM continuously does a lot of research on the CRM market and builds its products, adds a lot of features to it. And we, as a solution company, try to understand these features and also try to understand different industries' problems in the sales automation area, customer support automation area, and try to use these features, customize these features to suit the individual customer, like how a doctor suits. So whether you want to take half a pill or one pill for 15 days or 1 month, etc., this is the doctor who decides. Same way, solution companies will decide what is the correct product for him based on his price point and features that are available and customize it. Okay. So product companies and solution companies requires tremendous amount of thinking. Okay. If you have thinking faculties, okay, if you build your thinking abilities and you fit very well into solution companies and product companies. But are there, okay, what is the next level? Next level is the services company. In services company, you have to well define what you wanted, and the services company delivers exactly the same thing. They don't understand what is your major problem. They know that, okay, so this is what is the one, and this is defined. You have a well-defined things that needs to be delivered, and you deliver it. And services companies typically charge based on the number of hours that a resource is spending on it. Okay, and then the more you go, the deeper you go, the lesser the price. Okay, there is a price competition in the services companies, and enabled services is something like call centers, customer support centers, and distribution centers, and dealerships. All of these things will come as enabled services, where you deliver all these products and solutions to the end customer for a fixed fee as well as time. So now look at it. In product companies, there will be very less number of products. Okay, so let's understand. In product companies, you only have very less number of companies. And in solution companies, for example, Salesforce is one product company, and building on Salesforce solutions, there are probably a few thousand companies which does Salesforce implementation. So Sugar CRM is a product company. There are about 600 plus partners who deliver Sugar CRM solutions. So for every one major product company, there may be thousands of companies which are surviving on giving solutions. And then services companies are to scale these solutions. Okay, you require services companies. Infosys, TCS, Wipro, Cognizant, all of these companies come under 80 to 90% services and 10 to 20% solution. They do provide solution, but 80% of their business runs on services. They quote, I can give you 100 employees for this and 6 months, and then you pay me this much per employee. And there is more and more price going down for them as things go well. Okay. So in enabled services are nothing but knowledge workers. You call anybody who is working technical support or non-technical support, you call them as knowledge-based economy or knowledge-based companies. There you find a lot of call center executives. They are called knowledge workers. Okay. Try to understand the difference between in any IT-enabled services. If you are working, you are called as knowledge worker. But anything above, in a services company, solution company, or product company, you are called as a professional. Okay. The difference between a worker and professional is, a worker, if he works for fixed time, 8 hours per day, if he works, it's more than enough. After that, even though you want to work, they won't allow you to work. Whereas anywhere a professional is there, you are supposed to deliver the task, not the time. Okay. This is what the difference. And so try to understand, when you are looking for a company, you try to look at whether this is a product company or solution company, services company, or IT-enabled services company. That's one very important thing. In services company and enabled services company, and the biggest challenge is the jobs go to the place where cheapest labor is available. Okay, Infosys, once it has become expensive in Bangalore, they move to other cities. They will go to other cities. They will go to even other countries wherever the, the resource cost is very, very low. So anywhere you see services companies and IT-enabled services, the jobs move to the low-cost destination are given to the youngsters who are just getting into the industry. Either way, low cost drives them. But product companies, what they do is everything products, they keep it in one place. San Francisco Bay Area, Bangalore, a lot of product companies exist. But the moment they solve the problem, and if they want to scale it, they outsource it to solution companies and services companies. Again, anything that is easy to do, repeatable, if once they establish, they push it to other companies. So you need to understand these product companies and solution companies. But another catch, in the next slide, I'm going to bring those things. So on top of that, you also can categorize the companies as MNCs, large Indian companies, medium companies, small companies, startups which are bootstrapped, startups which are funded. Okay.
Based on the size, you mean?
Based on the size. Okay. So MNC and large Indian companies, what they have is they have tons of money. Okay. They have tons of money and they have budget and they have plan. Okay. Because a company becomes, from small and medium, a company becomes large or MNC once they establish extremely stringent processes and they define for every task one single person, single role, and they define for each role what task needs to be done. And once that is established, they become large and MNCs and they have plan for it. Okay, they grow. So that's the reason you get an offer letter from one company, large company, and say your joining date is after 1.5 years. Okay, but if it is a small company, it says, can you join tomorrow? The difference is, if a large company, MNC company says that, okay, I give you offer letter, but within 1.5 years, I'll tell you when to join. But a small company says, boss, can you join tomorrow or next week? Okay, if you say I will come after 3 months, I'm not interested to wait.
Right.
This is the major difference. So what is the work-wise, what kind of a differences will be there in small companies and medium companies and in MNCs and large companies? MNCs and large companies, your job is well-defined. Okay, and it is task-oriented. Okay, and it doesn't require too much of thinking. I definitely say there may be thinking that is required, but not too much of thinking because they have already planned what you need to do, how you do it. Whereas in small and medium businesses, it's exactly the reverse of it. They will not have too many people defined for each task. So when you join, you may be exposed to multiple skills, multiple areas, and you have to learn and do it because there may not be another person who can train you, who can give you. They can give you guidance, but they will not be. This is where you have a huge learning opportunity, but the money-wise, they don't pay you just like that. They pay you value for money. Okay, how much value you are bringing. Okay, and based on that, they pay and they give you an opportunity and improve you based on how hard you work and how you produce your work and how you acquire skills. Based on that, they keep increasing. So I'll give you a classic example. In our company, we have seen employees who joined us at 10,000 stipend per month. And within 3 years, they have gone to 50,000, 75,000, 1 lakh, 1,25,000. Within 3 to 5 years, they've moved. But look at the other way around. If you go into a services company or service-enabled company, you may be joining at a higher price of, let's say, 20,000, 30,000. But after 3 years, you may at the max go to 30,000 to 40,000 or max 45,000. In IT-enabled services and other services companies, the growth is not there because you will not be able to showcase that, okay, so you are able to produce it because it's a time and material. Okay, so these are the subtle differences that you need to understand. And again, startup funded, startup bootstrapped. Startup bootstrapped is basically they get revenue from customers and they pay salaries from that revenue. It is bootstrapped. That means you pay whatever you are getting, not somebody else's money. Startup funded means you get rise fund, you get funds and do it. So here also the value for money, if you work for a startup which is bootstrapped, you will gain a lot of skills and you will be paid based on the outcome that you are bringing in, not vice versa. Okay. So let's look at what is this in terms of understanding these companies. So in a product company, I'm seeing here, I've identified 4 or 5 companies. Let's say Apple, Microsoft, Salesforce, and GlaxoSmithKline. And Apple has got overall last year 164,000 employees, and they produced $394.33 billion revenue. Okay, please watch this number. 164,000 employees produced $394.33 billion. The next company that I listed is Microsoft. Microsoft has got 221,000 employees, but they produced $198 billion. They have more employees than Apple, but they produced almost half the revenue of Apple. Look at Salesforce. They have exactly half of what Apple has, and they produce $32.18 billion. Same thing, GlaxoSmithKline, they're also at the same line, 70,000 employees, $31 billion. So the product companies take lesser and lesser employees, lesser and lesser number of employees, and produce more income per employee than the other companies. Okay, I have not put the solution companies here, but let's look at the services company. Infosys has got 343,000 employees and producing $18.2 billion revenue. If you look at the 70,000 employee company here, it's almost like 5 times, okay, but it produced less than half the revenues of what Smithline Beacon has done, right? And TCS also, it has got 600,000 employees, just $27 billion. And IT-enabled services, if you like, Quest Corporation, which is the largest employer in India and Bangalore, one of the largest guys, they have more than 500,000 employees, but $1.8 billion. So there are more jobs here and less expectation on the revenue that you put. The solution company and product company, they have lesser employees, but more revenue is expected or more quality is expected. So when you're choosing, try to understand which is the company that I'm aiming for. And typically, I don't suggest, if you are a very thinking person, if you are a very learning person, I think solution company and product company is good. But if you think that you're not that kind of a person, probably you can look for services company. And then let's look at type of jobs. Okay, so we can also categorize type of jobs into 2. One type is operational or tactical jobs, and another type is non-operational or creative jobs. Okay, and if you go, what is an operational job? Typically, look at a bank employee. If you go to a bank, and you will see the bank employee doing the same work for a customer goes and he gives a check and he checks the check whether money is there or not. He makes an entry and he finishes the job. And from morning 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., he will do the same job. Okay, multiple customers will come, but predominantly the type of work that he's doing, it is well defined and he does it. And at 5 o'clock sharp or 4 o'clock sharp, they will go. And after 4 o'clock, another 1 hour they stay and do the closing work and leave by 5. So operational job is typically repetitive in nature and is time bound. Either you say work from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or they say you work this many transactions to do. Either way, it is time bound. So for example, a nurses have got duty. So morning 8 a.m. to let's say 2 p.m. or 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. 1, 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. 1 and 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. 1. So you will have, and during that time, nurse will come. If 1 patient comes, she serves. If 100 patients comes also, she serves. But exactly at 8 hours period is over, she will change her dress and move forward. Same thing with the bank employee. So in the bank employee also, how many customers come, they will handle. Sometimes during first week of every month, because a lot of people get salaries, they may be having hundreds of customers coming to the bank. But let's say mid of the thing, there may be only tens of customers. And then end of the month, maybe not even much more. So it is time bound, repetitive in nature, and extremely trainable. One of the key element of operational or tactical jobs is you can be trained within 15 days. Okay. Look at it. If you get a call center job, they will take you for 15 days, relentless training, and another 15 days, you will be put on to a kind of a overseeing by the manager. And then within 1 month, you are productive. And then you'll put on the platform and you will receive calls, you answer calls, you receive emails, you answer emails. Okay. So generally operational or tactical jobs are skill oriented. They give you the skill and you are up and running. And once you are given the skill, please understand, 1 month down the line, 2 months down the line, 6 months down the line, you will be doing the same thing. At the max, another question may be added. Okay, common question may be added. Or if you don't understand a question, you will escalate it to the manager. But predominantly, once you are trained, maybe 1 to 3 years, you will do the same job. There is no change. So operational and tactical jobs. Look at the government officer. Okay, any government officer. Procedure is well defined and you just do the same thing. Every day you come, do the same thing, do the same thing, do the same thing. Nothing changes till you retire also. It may not change. Once you get a promotion, maybe a little more than what you are doing, or a little less than what you're doing at the entry level, you will be doing. So a lot of these jobs, and in, let's say, there is in industries, there is an industry called insurance banking sector. Okay. Banking and insurance sector, security is of paramount importance. Okay. If you get in BFSI sector, banking, financial institutions, and insurance sector, if you get predominantly the job is well defined, extraordinarily detailed, and you will be thrown out of the office after 8 hours. So sometimes you may hear a big names, okay, in the BFSI sector. Any bank which is recruiting, please understand the work will be routine, monotonous, and operational in nature. And these jobs have got one fantastic element in life, which is work-life balance. By design, these jobs have work-life balance. And the learning capabilities in these jobs are much less, okay? And if at all you need to learn or acquire a new skill, the company makes extra effort to put you into a skill and do it. I think one of the questions that I see here is, if I don't have a skill, why do companies are looking for skill? Yeah, these are the jobs where skills can be inculcated, and skills, that's the reason these people take freshers in lots. Okay. If you go, a call center guy can take you, if you have good communication skills, they can hire anyone, any degree, anything, and then train them within 15 days to 1 hour, one month, and monitor you and get output out of you. Okay. But what are these non-operational creative jobs? Okay. Most of the software jobs are non-operational in nature and creative. Many students and even engineers who are working do not understand this concept that software is written in the brain and executed by the programming language. Okay. If your brain doesn't give you ideas, you will not be able to write a single line of code. So it is manufactured. Code is manufactured in your brain. Okay. That's the reason thinking abilities are one of the very important elements for a software job, and thinking and also learning capabilities. Okay. One gentleman has asked me, why do software engineers get very high salaries when compared with others? The single most important reason why software engineers get more salaries is they have to continuously learn. Every day, every week, every month, every year, they must learn. If they don't learn, they will become obsolete. Unlike the bank job, BFSI sector, or operational jobs, you learn once, and maybe 3 years to 5 years, you don't even spend even a single minute outside of your office on the office work. Please understand, once a bank employee comes, he is not bothered at all for the bank. The work doesn't come home. Okay. He doesn't need to learn anything. If he learns and if he is thinking, banking sector is scared. Okay. Why is it scared? Because he can steal some information. He can steal some credit card information and sell it. So they don't want you to stay within the office itself after office hours alone and learn something new. If you're learning, it is scary. You have to have the very extremely good discipline and follow the rules and follow only the rules. Whereas here in the software industry or anywhere there is a creative, absolutely no rules. You can always improve anything and everything. Okay.
Like just to add to what you say, Ram.
Yeah.
One of the most creative and I would say the most intelligent person in terms of understanding design, Hegarty says, first you should know the rules to break the rules.
Correct. Okay. So here is where the expectation is you go home, learn something new about your work, and then come back and apply that next day. So for example, we have Sugar CRM. Sugar CRM comes out with every quarter new features. Will somebody teach you all these new features, how these new features have come, why, where you apply, etc.? No, you are supposed to learn at the end of the day, go home, learn about new things that is coming in your industry, new thing that is coming in the domain, okay, new thing about communication skills, and then come back, apply it, and so that you are relevant in the company. Okay, so this is the major change between operational and tactical jobs and non-operational and creative jobs. So what is this? Basically, operational and tactical jobs, there is one major phenomenon. These jobs can go to the low-cost destination. Okay, or after 15 years or 10 years, if they feel that, okay, you're asking more money, they will replace you with an youngster. Okay, your resources will be replaced with younger freshers, and or it will be taken to across the world wherever it is cheaper. Okay, and here efficiency matters.
Right.
Whereas in non-operational jobs or creative jobs, jobs come to you at the entry level. You may not even understand, and you may not even be valued very high, even lower than the operational jobs at the entry level. First 1 year, 3 years, you are valued much less than the operational jobs. But after 3 years, once you gain skills and competencies and spend your time and energy on learning, and you learn and you earn. And how much you want to learn and how much you want to earn depends on how horizontally you expanded your skill and how vertically you have gone deep into the skill. These two matters. Okay, this is what you need to understand. Another important thing about operational jobs is they are automated. Okay, so you also have to understand if you are doing a manual testing and you are a manual tester, somebody will come and he'll automate using an automated tool, and your job is obsolete. And this is how about 10-15 years back we have hardware engineers in every company. Okay, hardware engineers in every company. And today you don't have hardware engineers after DevOps came. One single person, all the servers is maintained by AWS or Google Cloud or any of these things. So you don't need an internal hardware guy who will be helping, etc. So we all know about citizenship and tourism. Okay, and this is very relevant to you. And I will connect the dots after I explain what is citizenship and what is tourism. As part of my education, I studied in NIT Warangal. And when I studied in NIT Warangal, I lived there for 4 years. And I know the nook and corner of NIT Warangal and also the Warangal and Hanamkonda and Kajipet. Now, 10 years I have not visited Warangal after college. Even then, I will be able to tell where is the admin block, okay, what kind of hostels are there, etc. Maybe 1 or 2 hostels which they have added extra, I may not be aware. But at least I can guide anybody who wants to go from Kajipet station to the college or from Warangal bus station to college. Okay, so that's possible, I remember. But let's look at I'm a citizen of Bangalore, so I know in and out of Bangalore, but predominantly I can guide anyone from anywhere, okay, where to go, how to go, what kind of colleges are there, all of that. And citizenship gives you, you know, in and out of it. That's what is citizenship. But let's understand what is tourism. Let's say you, all of your friends have gone for a Malaysia and Singapore trip. Okay, you hired one tourist guy and you paid, let's say 50,000, 200 for tickets and 5 days or 7 days stay there, etc. You go to Malaysia, you see, identify the most important spots that you have to go there. You go there and you click a photograph and give a thumbs up, and you all your cameras filled. And one day you finish, next day morning, the tour operator wakes you up and says, today we have to finish all these 5. You will finish all these 5 and go. Third day, you will go to Singapore and you do the same thing. You have a lot of pics, etc. Right? Let's say 5 years gone. Somebody calls you from Kuala Lumpur airport and says, how do I go to so-and-so place? Or let's say from Singapore, he says, I'm not able to go from here to the Jew, night Jew you said, okay, do you know? You will not be able to tell until unless you are a citizen. You'll say, oh, did I visit this place or not? Okay, so you will have to figure it out and remember it, and you have to prepare to give an answer. That is what is tourism. Okay, so how does this is connected to students? Okay, so we have lot of students are very fashionably say, I study in the last minute and I got 70% marks. Okay. 1 week I study, I get 70% marks. What does this 1 week he does? He tries to identify all the important questions, tries to read them, whether he comprehends or not, he knows how to reproduce it. And when the exam comes, okay, and you will understand last 5 years what question papers have come, what are the important questions. If I study these important questions and this many marks I can get, he guarantees it and reproduce those answers in the exam and say, I got 78%, just 1 week. Why should I study for 1 semester? In this 1 week, I am able to get 70% marks. This is what we call it as subject tourism. Okay. Subject citizenship and subject tourism. Okay. Subject tourist always prepares for the exam with the number of questions, what questions will come, what is the best answer for it. He goes back to the students and says, who has written any good notes? He has written somebody and prepares it and dumps it. And after 1 year, if the interviews ask, okay, you studied electrical machines, what is this electrical machine? He says, I did not prepare. Okay, same thing like a tourist, right? I've been to Switzerland. I've roamed around 10, 15 years back. I've gone to the peak height, climbed peak height, but I don't remember the name. And how did I go? I don't even recollect. Okay. Where I stayed, I don't even remember right now. So all of these things will play a role. So if you are a subject tourist, and what is subject citizenship? So subject citizen reads the complete subject, tries to understand it, and goes beyond and tries to read more about it. And he comprehends the subject and articulates when the question comes instead of preparing for the questions. Okay. And subjects, citizens typically are liked by product companies and services companies, and the subject tourists, okay, typically are preferred by services industries and IT-enabled services. So you may say, why am I getting all IT-enabled services, call center jobs? If it is the method you are following, please understand you fit for that kind of a job. But if you are when a degree is giving 7 subjects, 8 subjects, okay, the only purpose of giving you that subjects is to ensure that you are able to comprehend on your own and articulate on your own. So the academic world, I think you can read, and you can read without comprehension, and you can read without comprehension and reproduce it, or you can read and comprehend, and articulate it. Please understand, if you are able to read without comprehension and reproduce it, you are not acquiring the most important skill of your life called read and comprehend. Articulation comes later. So why they test you? They want to test whether you are able to articulate what you have comprehended in the exam. Without looking at what is the important questions, etc. If you are able to read your subject, and if you're able to comprehend it, and if you're able to articulate it in the exam, and you get 60% marks, those 60% marks will be valued very high by the companies when you are talking about the subject. When they ask you about the subject, you will be able to answer whatever you know. Even if it is wrong or half, they will be able to understand you have an ability to read and your ability to comprehend. And that is what is the skill that is required for IT industry. Our today's high valued jobs require a person who is able to read, comprehend, and articulate. And after articulating, the best next thing is the application. So you read about programming language, but you have a lot of features that you learned, but can you apply it when it is required? Okay, that's another important element that people are going to look at it. Please understand, product and solution companies tries to hire subject citizens. Okay, and services and service-enabled services companies tries to hire disciplined subject tourists. Because in call centers and all of these operational jobs, everything is well defined and you do whatever you are told to do, not beyond. Don't apply your brain. Okay. Prashant, you want to take over?
Yep. So I want to name the ones who have actually put up the questions. There are a few sensitive topics, but I really appreciate the youth of today who boldly come up with these questions. So I really like to take up the first one, which is quite a hard one. Indian education gives theoretical knowledge than practical knowledge. So most of the candidates, especially from rural part of India, have very little practical knowledge. How does a placement coordinator, judge us and provide us a job? So basically, he's trying to communicate about the theoretical aspect of it over the practical knowledge. So Ram, this is more to do with someone who's got to be skilled while he's learning. So can we start with you, Ram, if you don't mind?
So there are many things that we look at it, and industry. Okay, so 75% of Indian jobs are given by small and medium companies. This is a statistic. Small and medium businesses hire 75% of the employees. Okay, I'm not talking about unorganized sector, organized sector. But unfortunately, the parents and many people know about large companies only. They think that large company is the job. Okay, if I face this challenge day in, day out. Okay, if an employee is working in a small company, they don't get good alliance matches. Okay, so the daughter's father sends some relative to the company and see how big is this company. If it's Infosys, guaranteed. Okay, if it is TCS, guaranteed. Wipro, guaranteed. But if it is a small company, because the perception is entirely different. Small companies add significant value. In fact, 90%, 98% of companies in Germany are small and medium businesses. Right. Okay. So small and medium businesses are the way to go. And second, so I did not cover another aspect due to time, but the next topic that we are supposed to cover is about internships, part-time jobs, and jobs and career. But let me touch base with it. How do you get if you are from a tier 2, tier 3 city, how do I get a good job? Okay. The only thing is many people have become fashionable nowadays asking internship means I need to get stipend. You need to understand the difference between internship and part-time job. Part-time job is you do it for money. Internship, you do it for acquiring a skill. A small and medium business can give you internship through which you can acquire the skill, but they will never pay you. They don't want to pay you because if they pay you, you don't understand the value of internship. Okay. For example, if I want to give you an internship, the seat where you are supposed to sit in the office cost me about 9,000 rupees. The laptop that I provide you cost you per month 22,500. That means already I'm paying 11,500. On top of that, the senior resource I'm giving you to ensure that you are going to get a skill is going to cost me at least about 10,000 per month. That means I'm already paying around 20 to 30,000 rupees per month on you for your skill development. If you don't understand that this is internship is useful for you, not for the company, okay, and then I'm not interested in giving you. The moment you ask, okay, how much stipend this internship gives, you are already lost the game from small and medium businesses perspective. In small and medium businesses, you learn a lot because process is not there. They want to experiment with you, give you time, give you problem, make you understand the problem, solve the problem. You gain a lot, but at the same time, they're penny wise. Okay, they want to only pay for the value that you bring. Okay, so they understand that 6 months to 1 year, any fresher will not be able to add value to the company. But in operational jobs, let's say there is a finance company and which is following up with credit card agents, or there is a HR company who wants to follow up with all the candidates. They know this person can replace a senior person at a low cost. I pay you 5,000 rupees or 10,000 rupees and ask this person to keep calling all the candidates and make them come for the interview. So those kind of things you need to understand. If you are serious about it, nearby any company, go and join an internship and they will give you. If you try to learn something about that company's skills that are required in that company, that's one way you can look at it. I think I'm not too sure whether I answered it, but that's a policy that you need to follow. Small and medium businesses can give you the break, okay, that is required. And that break only, it is a win-win situation. You pay with your time and I pay with my time. And you gain skills and I will give you skills. Not I will give you money and give you skills. That ecosystem doesn't work. Unnecessarily, a lot of places people say internship means I need to, how do I survive? Yes, if you sit at home, you will survive. But if you sit at home, you won't get your money. So you have to pay for your money to come to the place where you get an internship opportunity and do it. And if the company realizes after 1 month or 2 months or some value, then they may give you stipend. But the moment you say that if you don't pay me stipend, I don't come, probably companies don't even look at giving you because there's nothing loss for them. You need to understand there's no loss if I don't take an intern. Loss is for you. If you don't come for the internship at any cost, you will be losing an opportunity to gain skills. Okay, that's the attitude. That's the reason I'm saying you have to understand you are the seller and you don't have anything to sell. So this internship give you something to sell. At the end of it, you get skills that you can sell.
So there's another interesting question from another resource participant. So he talks about living in a competitive world. How do we improve the mental behavior or the stress level? So if Vinay could probably take up this and spend a minute on this.
Sure, Prashant. So very good question. So, as we are always, please remember, friends, we are working with a knowledge industry where we are clocking each and every minute and second of your mind. If you just understand one level down of how exactly, our mind has orchestrated. So we are living all our knowledge of whatever we are talking, doing, etc. This is all just because of one of the minute of the minute. All mustard, right? The small mustard. You just try to cut that mustard small into 1,000 parts. That is 1 by 1,000 of mustard. That we have is called hippocampus. So this is the small hippocampus, which is just next down to the pituitary gland, where all our intelligence lies. Whatever we are talking, whatever that we do. Just because of the small 1,000th of the mustard, that is the hippocampus. So just try to understand now, the small is really controlling the big human body. What a lovely psychology, what a lovely human nature, what a beautiful graces across this entire psychology of it. Friends, is very imperative to know about our own mechanism. So to answer it very, very, in the biological way, So we need to follow a standard of 8-8-8 scenario. 8 hours sleep mandatorily, and your 8 hours work wherever, whichever company that you are in, and the 8 hours for the other activities. Okay, 8-8-8 structure. The second important thing, friends, you have to learn the art of de-stressing yourself, by doing either, everyone has a different, way of de-stressing. Okay. So try to do yoga, for example, meditation. Okay. And there is also a new concept. Okay. A relaxation. People say, hey, I want to take a relaxation. What is relaxation? So friends, whether you are studying, whether you're working, kindly follow our, childhood game. 45 minutes learning, 15 minutes break. 45 minutes learning, 15 minutes break. This is actually the proven psychological aspect where the stress will be annulled, you will be more focused, all detoxicated, you can really focus it back. So because, that is where you have to give winding and rewinding. So we have to understand this structure out of it so that, I'll tell you, friends, you will be always agile, smiling, with that enticement and with the energy and motivation. So if we follow all these things, you can just, throw all the stress, pressure, what else you call all those negated can be thrown away. Prashant.
We have our next webinar is going to be on 19th August, which is again Saturday. Okay, as part of our Skillful Saturdays. I think this is going to be exactly on the topic that is asked, peer pressure. How do I handle peer pressure? How do I differentiate between noise and signal and have our own path? I think this we are going to be doing it next webinar. Okay. And Prashant, I think we have one survey, right? How do we give it now? I think
it will be triggered from our end, and we will request them to fill up the survey form, the feedback form.
So please fill up the survey form, because survey form will help us in improving our next webinar. Okay, so there will be a wide variety of topics that we are going to discuss. But at some point, you will understand the basics of what companies are looking for and prepare for it so that the match can happen easily. And so what other questions we have, Prashant?
Maybe one or two I can still take it, Ram. So I'll just quickly go through it. So there is this amazing thought from one more resource or a participant. He says, during probationary period, and during, especially during the probationary period, can you not look at the training aspect or skilling aspect as the most critical thing there, rather than I trying to put in an effort before getting the job? Instead of that, I get into the job and then utilize the probationary period to upskill myself. Is that a right approach? Is what is the question?
Yeah. So the current era, right? So around 10 years back, 20 years back, the average stay of an employee in a company is anywhere between 10 years plus.
Right.
So companies used to give 6 months intensive training, and then during the probation period, they used to get pay, etc. But the return on investment for the 6 months of training, they used to get over a period of 10 years. Okay,
Right.
be a stay. But in today's world, the era of today is basically they take the training and go and apply for another job and get into newer and newer jobs. That's the reason companies have understood this philosophy, and they're saying, okay, we give you training, it's okay, but you need to either give us 3 years commitment or you get trained and come. Either way, it is it, because you need to understand the companies cannot be a training background for you. Okay, you paid for the degree. Definitely, you paid some money to the degree, but at that time you did not get the skills. Okay, but here you are expecting a corporate to give you training. But for that training, what is the return that you give? If you commit, let's say 3 years, I think companies will absorb you. Small and medium companies will put a condition. Now even large companies are saying 18 months to 2 years is a mandatory, because they're spending money, effort. Lot of money goes when people are recruiting you. So one, they have to come to your campus drive, conduct all these drives, HR companies, okay, and they have to take the senior developers to do technical interviews, and all of that they do it and recruit you. After recruiting, they give you training, but you leave after 6 months saying that this is not good, that is not good. Okay, you don't understand the value of the training, and then commit for 3 years to improve your skills and contribute to the company. That's the reason this expectation, maybe you have to get out of it. Okay, at the earliest, the earliest that you get out of it, the better, because that way, that is the reason why simple skills we designed after 20 years of our experience with the students. Okay, and we give 6 months intensive immersive training. 6 months intensive immersive training, and after that, we make during that internship or 6 months training, 1.5 months to give you good domain knowledge, and it takes to write 10,000 lines of command line code. 1.5 months you take to write 10,000 lines of command line code, so that you really get deep into programming aspect, and then another 3 months to get the real world exposure. And this gives you extremely good ability to understand which type of a job I fit for, and where to apply, how to get a job, etc. So this is the trend right now. You need to acquire your skills, okay? And the expectation saying that as you go next 5 years, 10 years down the line, the more and more people expect trained resources, skilled resources, because people are not staying. The stability to stay for 3 years, 5 years is diminishing. Okay, for whatever reasons it is. Okay, everybody has got their own reasons. That's the reason getting trained is the way to go now. Okay, it's the individual responsibility, parents' responsibility to get them skilled so that they get the job. It's the skill is the new currency. If you want to exchange for a job, you have to get the skill first. However, if you're lucky, company will pay you and will train you and will expect you to stay longer. If you don't stay also, they will be cutting a loss.
Yeah, but then the window is very small these days. It is not like they're going to give you training for 6 months. It's going to be like a month. And within that, they will assess you and then take a call.
Absolutely. This trend you should understand. First, TCS used to have 6 months training. Then they reduced it to 3 months. Okay. And then now they reduced even it to 45 days. And now they're saying, I give you offer letter, get trained and come, and I'll take an exam and take you. Classic example that has happened. TCS, which is the largest company, olden days, 20 years back, they used to have a 6 months training in Bhubaneswar or somewhere, their facility. And then they reduced it to 3 months. Then they reduced to 45 days. Now they're saying, yes, you get trained, I'll give you offer letter, but get trained and come. And then I put you a test, and based on the test only, I will ask you to join. Yeah.
So next question sounds very interesting for Akshay, because it talks more about how do I know that I have to take a career transition or change my stream. So what is the best thing that I can do? How do I change the stream? If I'm studying, let's say, commerce, but I am actually inclined towards something else. So how do I do this? So is Next Step going to help this young person, Akshay?
Perfect. I think one line answer would be to watch all the episodes of Next Step and see where where you actually have to fit your career. In fact, yeah, as you said, so the core objective of Next Step is basically to expose all various professions. So various professions, and deep dive into each of these aspects and see what are the nitty-gritties, what are the challenges, what are the perks one is going to gain, or how is the work-life balance, what is the satisfaction gained out of this career and stuff. So the best way to look at it is go through all the episodes, understand which stream you want to be. So categorize yourself, categorize which stream you want to pursue your career. Because it's not just for a few months or few years. It's going to be for the next 20 to 30 years. You're going to sign up for your, for your career, right? So I would suggest if you want to go in a science stream, commerce, finance, arts, you have to choose that first, and then you have to go through the relevant set of videos to understand how that career actually, whether you would be able to fit into that career, whether that is the right choice for your, whether that profession is the right choice for your career.
Wonderful. Thank you, Akshay. Vinay, I think this is more related to you. It talks more about how do I bring a balance between learn and earn?
Yes. See, friends, it's a very good thing, Prashant. So, as we know, ARN has how many letters? 4 letters, right? EARN. One additional thumb, as we know, right? The rule of thumb. This thumb rules your entire, hand movements and your competency, whatever that you call. This is your, entire thing you can consider. This is a ruler. This is learn, L. So you see, if you keep improving this, if you keep learning, people ask me in various forums, sir, when exactly I'm going to stop learning? Sir, it is sometime, every time, learn. When do I have to stop? Then I told him very simple question back to him. When exactly you would like to stop eating? Then he has taken aback. Sir, how come, sir? No, sir, I have to eat for life. So you have to learn for life.
Yeah.
So when exactly you can stop learning? Only at the deathbed. So till the deathbed, you should keep learning. There is no shortcut for it. This should be your passion. This learning should be a passion, so that this learn will be a positive catalyst for you to earn. You earn money, you earn respect, you earn value, you change your image, you change your status quo, you earn. So to make that earning a very, starts with and then move on to an exponential way, you're learning to be continuous forever.
But lifelong learning is the key. Okay, so there is no stopping. You cannot stop, and if you stop, you become obsolete, or you can go into operational job where, yeah, so you are happy with whatever you are getting.
Sounds good. All right. So I don't think so. We have the luxury of time to have more questions taken.
I think at the end of it, let's give some information about our products. Prashant, is it a good?
Absolutely. So what I would suggest is, Ram, in the meantime, I think you could just take over as the host, and probably specifically if you want to mention few things to the participants, I think that would be helpful. I will just.
Yeah. So actually, our simple skills programs are basically to give skills and competencies, and we have 6 months intensive immersive learning program, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Of course, students may not be able to spend 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it is called experiential learning. That means you come to our office as a employee of this and stay with the employees and learn all the skills. And this is what we call it as experiential learning. So if anybody is interested, if you couldn't get a job after your college is over, you understand that you tried your best bet on getting the job. But after that, you need to understand somehow in a very fast manner, you need to acquire the skills. Okay. And acquiring, we have 3 programs. One is become a software developer in 6 months in CRM and web development, with PHP and MySQL as the main target. And the other one is becoming software developer in data sciences with Python and Tableau and Voodoo ERP. So these 2 programs are 6 months, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. After 6 months, we facilitate you. Within 3 months, we guarantee you a job. And if you don't get the job, we run payroll on you. And another 3 months afterwards, you will. So with 1 year experience, you are going to get. It's a sure shot way of getting job. Okay. And instead of going to some training here and say 2 years, 3 years, unlimited interviews I'll attend, those kind of things, this we created so that you optimize and don't waste your time in hunting for jobs. Whenever you hunt,
Ram, and one more crucial thing I think they should all know is the remote classes that are also available for them.
Correct.
So you have 2 types of remote classes, one beginning at 4 p.m. in the evening till probably 8 p.m. And then there is another slot where you can take it up from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. based on your proximity of your residence or your hostel. So do not hesitate to talk to us. We are always there to help you. And in fact, anyone from here who could actually shoot out an email to us can take 15 minutes of career counseling free of cost, just to get your alignments right. And then if everything works out well, then you can sign up for our program. Well, all said and done, I think we are on time. I will take 1 or 2 minutes about you as of now. There is a very clear study which says by Goldman Sachs that it's extremely viable for all the big companies to look at India only because of the youth ratio. And by 2050, India is expected to be the second largest economy in the world, only because of the potential that it carries from the youth. So please do not take steps where you're not aware of what you're doing. Do not be biased. Please be vocal about what you want to plan about your career. Do not waste your time assuming that you know it all. Please develop the right attitude. Be confident. Do not be overconfident about your capabilities. That can ruin not just your journey, but the entire family. Please note, you have to be responsible for yourself. And all the young girls out there, let me tell you, I'm going to be advising the same thing to my daughter too. You need to be financially independent. I repeat, all you young girls, you need to be financially independent in the coming years. Know that you are there in the society as an individual yourself. Achieve everything that you want in your life like any other man does. There can't be any more gender bias. Please do not have those assumptions. There is nothing called male-female journey in a professional journey. Everyone contributes. Everybody, if they're capable of delivering what is required in your job, will be recognized for the efforts put in and for the skills that you have. So value yourself, value your time, take care of yourself. Health is wealth. Probably what I tend to tell people is that I do not believe in diet, which is a very bad thing, but I do play cricket. So that's keeping me alive. That's keeping me going. So you need to figure out what works for you. If you've eaten a pizza the previous evening, next day morning, ensure that you go and play a particular game which can burn it out. So this could be a crude method, but the fact of the matter is health is wealth. Take care of your health. And as youth, please stay away from smoking, drinking, and that cannot empower you. Nightlife is good, but then be very responsible. Kindly take care of yourself. We are very happy to announce that it is your day. It's Youth's Day. And we are excited to see that you'll all touch base with us. And the gentlemen here collectively have 60 years of experience. And if you add mine as well, it is 80 years. So you have a collective knowledge that has come to you. And most of the mistakes that we had committed in our younger days, we have removed that and given you very clear roadmap about how to go about it. We hope all of you take the right steps going forward. Ram, thank you so much for your unique method to put across the examples to the young minds. Really appreciate your concepts. They are wonderful. Akshay, your concept is phenomenal and it's great for every youngster today. What if a 21-year-old watching today changes his or her mind to get to the profession that they love from within? And that's what finally matters. And Vinay, you made the entire youth smarter today with your smart technique. So we want to have you more. Thank you so much for all the support from all of you.
Yeah. So one request. So please fill the feedback form so that we understand for the next one we'll prepare. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.